Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall with your weekly newsletter recap. Today is Tuesday, May the 12th. As you know, we do trade recaps on Tuesday and then we do new trade ideas on Thursday. Today we are recapping a trade in Palo Alto. Now, if you got last week's newsletter, I highlighted this. I was still in the trade last week, and the whole concept of the trade was to try to get a run into earnings here as we are approaching. And let me zoom in a little bit and I can show you what we had. And I hope you guys got this trade because it worked beautifully, perfectly. All right, so we entered the trade out here. It was several weeks ago. It was on April 27. It's right there. That's when we entered the trade. And what I was looking at, of course, is trying to get a run into earnings here. We're above the 50, we're above the 20. This is really constructive looking, higher highs, higher lows, and we're making our way up here. Now I knew we might have some resistance there. This is the 200, and anytime you come from the underside up into the 200, you hit some resistance like this. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it goes through. I thought that it was going to go through. Everything was shaping up again constructively here, and again I was looking for a run into earnings. Let me show you this. So actually, let me do this. So last week on last Tuesday, I said if you don't have this trade, you can still get it. That was on May the 5th last week. So right there. I recorded here on the 4th. You see how we hit the 200 there, and we came back, tried to retest it again, and then we just launched and gapped through it right there. So last week it was at 180 when I did that video. It was about 183, kind of roughly, and now it's 213. So great, really great move in the last couple of days. Now this is because of the cybersecurity stocks. I think it was Datadog and Fortinet, both cybersecurity stocks had reported good earnings, and and we're in this vertical market here with all the AI stocks, Micron, AMD, all that kind of stuff. But here is the trade. We did a simple call debit spread. Enter this at 60 cents, dirt cheap trade here. I did 8 contracts to try to keep just as to size as an example. So we risk about 500 bucks, 480 bucks, and our max profit's like 1500. I like to get 3 to 1 if I can, so we risk 500 to make 1500 roughly. And again, last week you could have gotten this somewhere pretty much around that same thing, because again it sat there for a week or so and just kind of chopped, trying to get through this 200. Now it's gapped and gone on through it. So we're way up here now. And I actually posted in the main room to go ahead and close this trade because we were up. This was on Friday, I think I posted this to close it. So we're up roughly like 1,250 bucks. On the max profit here is like 1,500, as we saw. I think 1,520, something like that. So we're pushing 80% of the max profit here. So why wouldn't we hold it for more? Well, if the market sells off, if this sells off and we come back down here, we're going to give up our 1,200 bucks, and I just don't want to do that. So we went ahead and took the win. Now I did outline also, I said if we go up here, we might want to sell the other side, something like that. And let me move that one. And I really considered this, but the way that we were moving in these leaps and bounds here, I was a little afraid that we might overshoot this thing. Pros and cons of doing this. And I notice over here, if we did that, we'd add another, at the time it was $1.09. So that turns a $1,200 win into a $2,600 win. That's pretty cool, right? But again, we could overshoot this thing, and now you have a much bigger risk here if it just keeps going. So I decided not to do that, and instead took the profit. We entered at 60 cents, came out at 216 for $1,248 win. So high five, that was a nice trade. I hope you guys got that. And what we'll do, let me zoom back out here. I think this thing ultimately, right here, I think we ultimately come back up here and retest this all-time high, assuming the market, the NASDAQ doesn't pull back and all that stuff. Probably go up up here before earnings. Earnings are out here. Let me see the exact date. It's on June the 2nd. But for me, this, $20, or excuse me, $10, 213 to 223. It's not worth trying again. Let me show you one last thing. So we will come back and visit this maybe, right before earnings, June 1st or the very end of May or something like that, to try to get kind of a lotto ticket trade on for earnings or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. We'll evaluate it when we get there. But let me show you one other thing. If we go out here to our max chart, you can see we came back down like 200 day, basically 200 day. We came out 200 day. That's always gives you an idea, roughly, generally speaking, of some support there. And you can see we're coming back up to test this all-time high. Now, once we get up here and probably hit this thing maybe a time or two, then if earnings are great and they crush it, then that's when you launch again. So we'll keep an eye on that. Nothing to do yet, but just kind of put that in the back of your mind that we will kind of keep an eye on this. So with that, let me wind it up. Hope everybody got the trade. If you're not a subscriber to Simpler or the bias room, which is now called the Options Income Mastery Room, we're rebranding it. Pretty cool. Got a lot of cool stuff in there going on. Sign up. Let us know. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm in the main room as well at Simpler all the time. That's where this trade came from. We put these trades up all the time. And I put them up all the time, and I monitor them. So with that, let me wind it up. Thanks for the help, guys. Or I hope you got this trade, and let me know if I can help you. Thanks for the time, guys. Take care.